guys, thanks for joining us here at ICOtelevision.com. I'm Adam from Askew.
I'm Steven from Fracture Labs.
And we're here today talking with Steven about his upcoming project, Decimated. How you doing, brother?
Doing very well, thanks.
We're here at the beautiful Movida Beach Club here in Slima, Malta. It's a little windy, so we got the handheld out today, going back and forth. But Steven, can't wait to learn more about Decimated and what you're trying to do, man.
Thanks very much. Check out these amazing views.
How long you been here in Malta, man?
Been here for about 3 months, maybe 4 months actually by now, yeah.
3 months? How you finding it?
Yeah, it's really cool, man. You know, like I've found it to be quite a welcoming country. It's very easy to do business here. There's a really kind of vibrant community of people that are involved in blockchain. They're all helping each other, lots of events, and obviously great weather and views of Valletta.
Yeah, you can't beat this gorgeous view.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Here in Malta. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about Decimated.
So Decimated is an online survival game for PC where players can play with their friends and earn cryptocurrency while they're doing so.
Awesome, man. That sounds cool.
Yeah, so it's kind of like two factions of players. There's human survivors and cyborg cops. You start as a human survivor. You have to try and, survive in the world either through competing or cooperating with other players. And after playing for a certain amount of time, as long as you don't kill other players for no reason, you can be whitelisted to play a cop, and then you'll be policing the entire area, including other cops as well. So we want to have two types of players: those that play by the rules and really take the game seriously, and those that are just basically trying to run amok and cause havoc. You'll have to scavenge, you'll have to repair things, you'll have to build bases with your friends, fortify those bases in case like other players come to attack you, for example. But there will also be cyborg cops that are played by other gamers that will be trying to police the entire environment. They'll be keeping everybody in check, making sure that you have the correct licenses. If you have a gun that you don't have a license for, then they'll confiscate it and they might throw you in jail or maybe some kind of like deathmatch arena. So we're going to have a science fiction environment set in a futuristic Earth, hundreds of years in the future after climate change has already kind of destroyed or decimated the world. We're going to have scientific experiments gone wrong that are roaming the environment, malfunctioning robots that are kind of hostile as well, missions to do, including shipping cargo, money shipments, convoys and things like that. So lots of different things to do in this environment, and obviously you'll have to compete with other players or cooperate with them as well.
All right, cool. And where does blockchain come into this?
So the blockchain aspect is to manage the flow of digital tokens and virtual items, ownership of those virtual items. With the blockchain, we can actually assign digital scarcity to items that exist in the game world. So we can mitigate hacking and prevent people from just like giving themselves extra tokens or items that they don't possess. So we believe that by doing that, the items in the game world are going to have a certain value that other players will want to, they'll be willing to pay for. So we're going to run auctions for virtual items in our ICO so that players could outright own certain vehicles in the game. We'll run an auction for maybe a few weeks and the highest bidder will win the item, and then those players can use those ships, for example, in game. We'll have customizable weapons, customizable characters, and lots of other things. So much the same as CryptoKitties, they're cryptographically scarce. There's only one or maybe a small number of those in existence. So people will have to take care of those items. They're going to have to spend tokens to repair their vehicles, to repair their weapons, because if they eventually stop working or they break, then obviously they could cease to exist on the blockchain.
So everything's non-fungible then?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. So speaking of CryptoKitties, it sounds like this is dystopian CryptoKitties. Tell us a little bit about your history with CryptoKitties. I believe you have some, and then maybe go into a little bit of your past and background. Okay.
So I've been working with Decentraland. We helped with art and animation for projects like CryptoKitties and also Ethereum. So it's very kind of low poly, stylized kind of assets for those environments. Decentraland is a kind of virtual world where players can own virtual land. So we're helping create assets for people to put into that game world. My history, I've been working in the video games industry for about 10 years, working mainly in AAA. I've worked on projects such as The Division, God of War, Injustice 2, Evolve. So I have quite a strong network in the video games industry. So I came to Malta to start up this company, and I'm going to build a team of the most talented people in the games industry to build this project.
And what blockchain are you building this on?
Well, the ICO is going to be based on the Ethereum blockchain. Yeah. So we're going to do an ERC20 token, and we will issue non-fungible virtual items on the Ethereum blockchain first. But we will be developing our own unique blockchain because we really have to do that because of the nature of what we want to use it for. There's a lot of companies out there that are positioning themselves as a middleware company who are providing a blockchain solution to the video games industry. but they're not game developers. They're just saying, look, we have a blockchain here that can manage the flow of tokens and items, but I don't see a lot of games companies that are going to want to use a third party to manage their microtransactions and things like that. So what we want to do is build a dedicated blockchain. We're using the ex-lead developers from Skycoin, who I think their market cap is about 64 million right now. They're going to help us develop a dedicated blockchain for multiplayer online games. We're going to build the game around it, so we actually have a use case for our blockchain. And then obviously in the future we'll be using Unreal Engine 4, which is a very, very commonly used game engine in the games industry amongst indie developers as well. So we're kind of hoping that if we develop that infrastructure, that other game developers and indie developers will be able to use what we've developed in the future. We'll release our SDK after we've created our game.
All right, cool. So you're like an infrastructure project that's building essentially the first use case for the network, right?
Absolutely, yeah. We don't just want to create a blockchain and say, yeah, we have a blockchain that's for the management of virtual items and tokens. We actually want to have a game where we can show that you can actually earn money in the game. You can spend money, you can trade with other players, you can repair your vehicles, you can upgrade your base, you can fortify things. And if you want to spend real money in the game to, give yourself equipment to be able to build your base, then we welcome that,
Great. So tell us a little bit about how you think blockchain will be integrated into games in the future, and do you think it's important?
I think that blockchain is going to be an integral part of the games industry in the future. It's going to mitigate a lot of piracy issues, like I said before, with duplication or hacking. Because you need the blockchain to verify all the data that's there. If a player decides to say, I'm going to hack the game and suddenly I've got extra abilities, or I'm level 20, or I have this super awesome weapon, the blockchain will have to verify that. If it's not correct, then we can potentially say, well, that player is actually sending illegal packets to the blockchain. So we could actually punish them for doing that. You say, okay, you're going to get blacklisted from playing the game for a certain amount of time, or potentially banned from playing the game altogether.
What are some of your inspirations for this game?
So I'm really inspired by a lot of sci-fi from the 80s and the 90s, like Robocop, Terminator, The Running Man, Aliens, also video games like Flashback, Another World, Deus Ex, and obviously Cyberpunk 2077, which isn't released yet, but we really love that kind of thing.
Tell us a little bit about your ICO, the roadmap, and how much you're raising.
Okay, so the ICO launches in August 2018. We're going to do it in 3 stages. The first tier of 3 months, we're going to sell the DO tokens for 3 euro cents per token to private investors. Then, second quarter, we're going to sell them for 4 euro cents per token. And then in February 2019, we're going to go public for 5 euro cents per token. And by then, we expect to be launched on cryptocurrency exchanges. We'll need to limit the amount that people can trade straight away, because we don't want people who have acquired tokens early to just instantly sell them and then deflate the market, right? We want to be able to gradually increase our market cap. Obviously, we're going to spend a very large amount on marketing, and most of it's going to be on development as well as art and animation as well. So we plan to work with a AAA development studio, a partner that's already established in the games industry. I won't reveal who that's going to be, because obviously we're still trying to launch the ICO right now. But once the ICO has been launched, we're going to be working with an established team, and we're going to try and deliver the best game that we can possibly create.
You're here in Malta running your ICO. For all the other founders out there, potential founders, what are some of the kind of hurdles and challenges that you've been facing?
Okay, well obviously Malta has a regulatory framework which all companies have to adhere to. They need to register and say that they're going to do an ICO. I think that the biggest hurdle right now for everybody is trying to find a bank that's willing to accept ICOs. So everybody's running around all over the world trying to find a bank that's willing to accept fiat in exchange for cryptocurrency. And I can understand that the concern is that they don't want to be associated with criminal activity or money laundering. So obviously we are going to launch our own KYC platform to make sure that we know the identity of everyone that's buying our tokens. Okay. So we really recommend that companies that are launching ICOs have those kind of checks in place. Now this could range from just having a form on your website where you collect information about their passport, their date of birth, their address, maybe a photograph as well. But there are tools in place that you can use, such as Yoti, Yoti.com, where you have your users take a photograph of themselves, then they record a 3-second video, saying words that pop up on the screen. They run that through face recognition technology. Then they scan their passport, and they can have their identity verified by their server, and I think also by a human as well.
Is that expensive?
I think it costs about 60 euro cents or 60 pence like sterling per verification.
Okay.
Yeah. So obviously other challenges are, fiat to crypto transactions. Obviously in ICOs, your token isn't listed on an exchange rate yet. It's just a private token, a sale. You need to have a Visa, MasterCard payment system in place, which could actually cost maybe 5% of your sale. So, obviously everybody's running around trying to find a solution that works. So I speak with companies that are in Malta or companies that are elsewhere, and I think that as I find solutions and other people find solutions here in Malta, we want to offer assistance to other people that want to set up here in Malta or that want advice on how to do these kind of businesses. So we're here to help. So what we do, it's a learning experience for us, and we help other people with their challenges, right?
So in spirit of helping other people, what advice would you offer to other founders out there?
I would say make sure that you have legal advisors that know what they're talking about. I would say stay away from the US, maybe stay away from China as well, because the regulations over there are that you're not really allowed to do ICOs or token sales. They consider them securities, so it's probably wise to just stay away from the US for the time being. Focus on Europe and worldwide. And I would also suggest, having a solid white paper that's reviewed by professionals with lots of information there, technical information as well as information about what you're actually planning to do. And I think that one of the most important things is that you're actually solving a problem. If you're just saying, I have an idea or I have a business and I want to do blockchain related, that kind of it kind of saturates the industry with lots of companies that actually have no value. They provide no value to the world, right? But if you actually have a problem that you're willing to solve, then definitely that could work.
I agree. I think a lot of the scams and also cash grabs out there, right? People running ICOs that don't really need the blockchain. They just saw it as a money-making opportunity. It's really kind of giving ICOs a bad name. So I think it's important to have good projects and good people running them to really legitimize the business again, right?
Absolutely. Because obviously there's a lot of people out there that are jumping on the bandwagon, whether they're founders of companies or advisors or lawyers or anybody who wants to get involved. They put their rates up extremely high. They're charging extortionate percentages and upfront fees. And I kind of think, it's important to make sure that you work with people that are dedicated and passionate about your project rather than those people that are just wanting a percentage.
Why should people go into your token sale, man?
Because we're going to make the best online video game in a science fiction environment where people can actually play and earn money while they're playing and trade with other players.
Awesome. Sounds good. Is there anything you want everybody at home to know before we go?
Well, if you want to check out the project, it's decimated.net. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram. We have a Discord channel where people are talking about the project. They're talking about the challenges that are going to be faced with this kind of project. And we really welcome people to get involved and send us their ideas as well about what they'd like to see in the game. We want it to be a community effort, So decimated.net, and the token sale starts in August 2018.
Awesome, man. Well, dude, we really appreciate you coming down talking to us.
Thanks.
And as always, thanks for joining us here on ICOtelevision.com. Don't forget to check out my project, isq.io, from the link below. And we'd love to hear more from you guys if you have any comments or questions concerning the different projects or the format. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you soon.